Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and it is Sunday, the 25th of September 2011. The New World Order, the Illuminati reptilian gangsters that's been around for 4,000 years, just don't want to quit. They don't want to go down easily. They don't want to give up. Instead, they've made threats to the White Dragon Society that they would possibly wipe out San Francisco and Damascus, and that's in Syria, for those who don't know it. And they were basically told that if that happens, not by the White Dragon Society, but just to let you know, the White Dragon Society is made up of people, white hats inside the Pentagon here in the United States, admirals and generals and people that are that oppose what these Satanists are doing, and they do not want the destruction of the planet and 80% of the population being killed. And they are also members of Japan and China and 57 other countries across the world that just do not want this mass genocide that these Illuminati Cabal members want. And we know who they all are: Bush, Cheney, Clinton, Rockefeller, Kissinger. Of course, the list goes on. That's just here in America. There's Soros and Warren Buffett, and you go to the Rothschilds and the Vanderbilts and Prince Charles and all the royal family over there, the Queen Elizabeth, all of them. But anyway, a threat was made back to them saying that basically they would go and hunt down their entire extended families and any ruling bloodlines from this Illuminati Cabal members that were responsible for this, and they'd all be exterminated. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So that, you know, they're making threats out here. Now this is actually a little bit older of a post. It was actually from the 6th of this month, but then I missed it. I didn't get a chance to cover it the last time, and I know today's the 26th, so it's 20 days old, but it's still relevant. So you know, keep that in mind, that these Cabal members, the evil empire, they do not want to go down easily. So they are fighting with their last breath and trying to save themselves from ruin. But the threat was not made again by the White Dragon Society, but a third party that you might say it would be kind of similar to when WikiLeaks went and was supposedly, Julian Assange. He was going to release some information, and then he got threatened with a sexual harassment case against him that was all probably bogus, set up. He was, set up for that, and then we never heard much about him anymore, mainly because George Soros, one of the gangsters, went in there and backed his defense and paid for his trial. So basically they bought him off. But before they bought him off, when he was actually possibly a good guy and was going to release some real valuable information to take these gangsters down, these banks down and stuff like that, PayPal went in and shut down their account. And so some anonymous hackers went and attacked PayPal and attacked, I forget who all else they attacked. I can't even remember now the story. But that's kind of the situation we have here. We have the good guys who are, I guess, fairly well known in this arena that we are in, not to the blue pill takers, but to us red pill takers. We kind of know who the White Dragon Society is now. Now here we have an anonymous third party that's taking up for the White Dragon Society and humanity and saying, we're not going to put up it either. If you guys don't do it, we're going to take them out. And so these people, they think they can get away with this. It's not going to happen, folks. I really don't think it's going to happen. There's too much going on, with, especially when we looked at the 2 underground cities that got destroyed by the white hats inside the Pentagon, who went and either nuked them or used some type of alien technology, or that pulverized everything there. It's all gone, and the whole cities are just leveled underneath there. So we don't. There was a new interview by David Wilcox and Ben Fulford that said that they couldn't find any radiation levels, so they don't necessarily think it was a nuke, but they think it was some type of pulse weapon beam that just possibly increase the air pressure 20-fold or something, and just absolutely pulverize those cities. And there's a possibility they might have taken some of the people out of there first, because there's a lot of those people that were just innocents. A lot of them, probably 90% of the Illuminati members would get out if they wanted to, if they could. They've just been brainwashed and they just don't know, and they'd like to get out, but they're threatened, and they've just been under horrible conditions and mind programmed, and just they'd love to get out if they could. It's only the top ruling ones that are just pure evil, that are reptilian snakeheads. So anyway, so I wanted to cover this, and then in the other latest post here that was just done 2 days ago, or the 21st, I guess, so a few days ago, that Ben Fulford and David Wilcox, they talked about the shutdown of the stock market. The financial systems are going to be shut down due to a rebalancing effect that they are going to do. Here, let me pull it over here for you from the other window here, and go over it. And this was actually, okay, this was an interview with David Wilcox and talking with Ben Fulford. But now I don't know if this is a typo error or if they've actually increased the amount of nations. I don't know how many nations there are in the world. I think it's 260 or 70. It's debatable. I think there's a few of them that are not called nations, and it's debatable. It's somewhere in that range. But this might have meant to be 57, because we know from the past it was 57 nations that agreed. So it might be a typo, or they might have actually added some more nations to it. But the Evil Cabal is down to only 5 nations, folks. Italy, France, let's see, Italy, France, America, and Germany, and England. That's it. So they are being cornered and shut down worldwide. So this is this great thing. There's no place for these fools to hide. But anyway, what he speaks of here is that it says, however, there have been serious developments in the move towards a new financial system. Remember, they have something like, I think, $5 trillion setting aside on the sidelines that they want to put into free energy devices. Technology has been suppressed, like cures for cancer, cures for AIDS, cures for diabetes, heart disease, cures for all of this stuff, folks. Everything. Extension in your life. If you've read in the Bible, in the end times it said that there'll be a 1,000-year reign where people live to be 1,000 years old after the 7 years of tribulation. We very well could be going through the 7 years of tribulation right now, for all we know. I don't know, but I know that they got the technology to extend your life thousands of years to fix all of your DNA cells and regenerate them to where you're healthy again, where you can be 200 years old and look like you're 40. So it's out there. But anyway, before they get that money out there into the new financial system, they have to shut down. It says, soon all financial trading programs or platforms will be shut down for an indeterminate period of time. The aim of this shutdown is to totally clean out and revamp the system. The amount of time needed to clean out the mess is not known. So their plan is to shut it down. But look at the tentative date on this. Isn't this kind of strange? The tentative date for this is November 11th. But with many dates, they have come and gone. The financial cabal will do everything in its power to prevent this from happening. So I don't think they're going to succeed. As far as I can see right now, we have the good guys, the White Dragon Society, who know that the stock market has to crash. It has to just fall to pieces before they can put their money in there and start it off new and get new technologies out there, cars that run on water, and free energy, free electricity for your house, and all of this stuff that's been suppressed from us for so many years. And so that, in order for them to get that out there, they've got to get all these derivatives and all this illegal fraud out of the system. So they want the market to crash, but not for bad reasons. They just want to reboot it. And so it has to be done. Well, the bad guys, contrary to what you think they're doing out there, they're only trying to prop up the stock market temporarily until they are ready to pull the plug. They still want to pull the plug. Everything tells me they want to pull the plug on this and make it crash so they can buy up all the assets. You have to think about that. What is their goal here? Their goal is to buy up everything at dirt cheap prices, consolidate all the companies into only a few companies that they own. Shut down most of the smaller banks, can consolidate them all, own it all to where everybody will be working for those companies and they'll own them, so everybody will be working for the government. So therefore they got the New World Order. They can chip and saw and force us to be chipped, or you won't have any food to eat. So that is their plan. So both parties here want the market to crash. It's just a matter of the timing of it. Now, I think that the timing of it is going to be based upon this Legatus pilgrimage. I still think that that's when we're going to start a wave 3 down. Just too coincidental with all the stuff that's coming about. But this is what the gangsters do. They create a problem, blame it on someone else, then they create a solution, and they take credit for it and be a hero. That's what they like to do. They're no hero. They're gangsters. They're thugs. So don't ever, let them think that. But so what they're going to do, this guy seemed to have caught it right here. The sheep are about to be taken for another $14.3 trillion. Very, very interesting, because what this guy's discovered is that there is a website out there that looks really, really crappy when you go to this and see. And I don't know if it's the correct website or not. I'll open it up here. I don't even know if they even got a website, but it looks like a child created this. And it is from the North American Water and Power Alliance. This is something a child would have created, or me back in the 90s, when I didn't have any other skills. So it's very, very crappy looking. I don't think this is their official website, but I don't know. Maybe they don't have one, but I'm going to let you read that. But if it is their official website, it's done on purpose to look crappy like that. When you're going to represent a company that's got $14 trillion and you want to hide in plain sight, what do? You make a crappy looking website that looks like nobody would go to it, and that's exactly what they did. Here's another site that maybe this one's theirs. I don't know. It says NAWAPA, which again stands for North American Water and Power Alliance Jobs. And there's nothing really on this. They just do up the old basic blog here that you would get for free with the basic free theme here, and posted on here. The future is now. The mission is clear. The purpose is sustainable economic development, and the plan is to develop the largest infrastructure project created ever. And what this is about is they want to build a water pipeline all across America, basically. But he goes over it in that video, but it's very similar to what they did when Lindsey Williams talks about the oil pipeline that they built in Alaska back in the 70s. And he thought it couldn't be done. Okay? The requirements to employ more than 3 million people and paying jobs for the next 50 years. So they want to take 50 years to do this. This to me sounds exactly like they are planning to debase the market. In other words, crash the market. And this goes back to what Reinhardt constantly always says on his site with enterprise corruption. When you go to his site, you'll see, but you can read all of his stuff, but he speaks of it, how they basically will debase the market when they need to pay for something huge, and so they crash it and they make money from it on the way down, and it's done intentionally to pay for it. Now he speaks of it here with the railroad system. And by the way, the reason that he puts these in a JPEG, if you actually try to copy it, you can't copy his text. I don't think he's worried about you copying it. He don't want the search engines to pick it up. And so it's in a picture format, which keeps, I guess, the New World Order off his back, the gangsters. But this goes down for quite a while, and you can certainly read it, but he goes into great detail. It'll blow your mind, but he has some very, very accurate predictions over the course of time over the last, since at least 2008 that I've been following him. It's all based upon, he puts all these pieces together of when they're going to debase the market based upon a financial need to pay for something huge, like a railroad system over in the Middle East. He's talking about that here, well, not on this particular post, but on the home page, but on other posts, he's talked about it. And so, and he throws you some statistics. And he was right here, by the way. This was the last Legatus pilgrimage. It was April the 30th through May the 2nd. May the 2nd, we hit our high. We started tanking down since then, and the first wave down, and we come back up, and now I guess we're in the third wave down. I guess you could call it from here. You want to count that, a 1, 2, 3. And see, that's another reason that I think there's possibility. It's really just hit me at this point right now, while I'm looking at this chart. Everybody has this. Everybody has the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. We're going up for wave 4, and then a wave 5, going down, and then we go up for a major wave 2. Well, what if that's all off? This was major wave 1 down. This was major wave 2, and we've just had the first wave inside of major wave 3. We're going to have 5 waves inside it. This is just me thinking out loud here, folks. 5 waves inside it, ending next week below. We should tank next week, by the way, ending down quite a bit. We could actually hit limit down, I think, on any given day. But we could easily drop another 1,000 points next week just to complete this one wave down. Then we run up for about 3 weeks for wave 2 inside of this larger wave 3 right here, and then collapse again with the next Legatus pilgrimage, which is again the 16th through the 23rd. Some key time dates: the 24th, that's a Sunday, the 23rd, and 24th is a Monday when the market opens. So when you do all this timing out again, that should tell you that if this is right again with the Legatus pilgrimage, and I don't think very many people know about this, by the way, either, because the videos that I have done that talk about Legatus, I don't get that many views. So people aren't searching for that. They don't know. So far it's still been very accurate at this point. But anyway, this guy talks about the water, that they're going to pipe water from, to dry areas in the country. It sounds to me like exactly what I've heard on other sites, that water is the new resource, the new oil. It sounds to me like the gangsters plan on creating a shortage of fresh water, possibly by poisoning it, and then, or contaminating somehow, and then they'll build this pipeline and they'll force everyone to drink water and pay for it at outrageous prices. That will probably be their plan. It'll be the big commodity that they are going to go away from oil and go to water and try to make us thirst to death if we can't afford it. It's a more evil crap that they are planning on doing. So we have to find out over the next year or two, after this market crashes, who ends up the victor. Will it be new, fresh technologies come out in the world, to where we have cars that run on water and cures for cancer and AIDS and heart disease, and feed the world, and so there's no starvation? Or will we have this stupid water pipeline that isn't necessary when everywhere in the world, most of the population is near the coast? You can easily desalt the water and extract the salt out of it and simply put it, make fresh water out of it. It's done all the time. The military does it. It's done all the time. They can easily do it. Why do you need to pipe it from some, I don't know, wherever else they wanted to pipe it from? Let's just you can pipe it inland from the oceans, but all the oceans around us, you can easily get water right out of the ocean and just take the salt out. But no, they want to hide that. So we want to see if that technology comes out there too. Military already has that. And so anyway, one of the things I've been doing, I've been trying to put these pieces together here. I forgot to put that one picture of the Mayan calendar in there. So I've been trying to put these pieces of the puzzle together. I got this cool picture right here from the internet, just with nothing on it, just a bunch of pieces of the puzzle. I started putting all these things on it here, and I'll have to add this as time goes by to try to put all these together and see what's really going on. We remember we have the Illuminati.org countdown to December 7th. I've got the Wilshire fake print that was, the screenshot was taken in March, approximately March the 8th of 2010, but it doesn't show the print down on March the 8th. It backdates it to December the 7th, 2009. Very strange. Most fake prints do not do that. Like the 3465 fake print, when I took that January 31st, it was for that date, January 31st. It later showed up again about a month ago. Anna caught it again, and this time it was backdated again to January 31st. So they're telling us here that they're going to take the market to this level. The when, we don't know yet. Okay, I've had a gold fake print for quite a while at 935.60 from last year. We had the Legatus Pilgrimage April 30th, May 2nd top in the market. That was accurate. Our next one here is the 13th through the 23rd. It's usually the business day afterwards, because they have to cash all their checks and exit the country and flee like a bunch of dogs. And so they're going to be in Rome, and the Vatican, of course, is where all the evil comes from, folks. It's where all the drug running comes from, all the wars come from, all the prostitutions and slavery, and it's where they're having lots of ritual sacrifices and the sick stuff there going on in the Vatican. There's pure evil there. So that's the fake religion, the false religion that the Bible talks about. I don't mean specifically the Catholics, but I mean the Pope and his minions. That's who I'm talking about. And so it would basically, they're going to be in Rome, so they'll be cashing their checks through the Vatican, where you don't have to have any type of name or anything. You just have a number. If you've seen some of those movies, like the one of Tom Hanks in it about the Vatican, they had some kind of big long key that you just handed to him. No name was necessary, so no taxes. Pure money laundering, folks. Is what that's all about. We also have Margin Call, the movie, released the week of the Legatus Pilgrimage, October 21st. That's a Friday. So that movie's released, almost indicating that the next week, which, that's Friday. So then Sundays, the 23rd and the 24th, would be the date that the market opens again. So are we going to have a huge, massive wave 3 down then? A wave 3 of a wave 3 of a wave 3? Very, very, very possibly we could. And we also have the Mayan calendar that officially ends October the 28th, 2011, not December 21st, 2012, like they have led you to believe. That is wrong. And we have that from, let's see here, we got, I had thought I had saved that. Let's see, Mayan calendar ends, that is called, well, that was, there it is, the Mayan calendar, and some of my images here. I actually blew it up and got a larger picture of it, but I can't seem to find it right now. So anyway, we'll just continue on with this. I'll put it on the site as well. When actually, I'll tell you what, I'll just pause this video and I'll find it here for you. Okay, here we are. Had to find it here. I will upload this and put it on the site. I increased the size of it, but this here, it's supposed to complete on the 28th, and we are supposed to achieve all 9 levels of consciousness, all the way dating back 16.4 billion years. I have no idea what the heck that means. I don't, but it's obviously important because it dates back 16.4 billion years and goes right to this date. I mean, even if it's off a few days, so what? It's probably that's going to happen this year if it was off a few days. So there's a lot of stuff that, and I don't think it is. I think this guy's done an excellent job of figuring out the days, but I don't know what it means. But obviously that's a Friday, and the week the Legatus pilgrimage ends is the 23rd Sunday, so the 24th Monday, all the way to that Friday. What the heck can happen? We could literally have a 2 or 3 or 3,000 point drop in the market. I don't know. Something crazy. It could very well happen at this time. So that is something to be very, very concerned about and knowledgeable of. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening at this time. We also have the $14.3 trillion water pipeline. Of course, we already know about the HARP attacking on Japan. It's old news, but I did want to put all this on there. We got the planned financial shutdown on 11/11/11. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it might. But irregardless, it's a ritual date. The Illuminati, it only comes along every 100 years. You know they're going to do something with it, and you're going to have some weird, strange movie about something you can't stop come out on 11/11. You got Lindsey Williams still calling, last I've heard, he's still calling for $200 a barrel of oil. How's that going to happen unless you start a war where the pipelines are shut off and where you blow them up? And, according to him, the gangsters were already opening up Gull Island, the oil fields that they discovered in the 70s in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana that contains all that oil. So they're preparing for it. It's just whether or not they'll succeed or not is another thing. I don't know. I hope not. I hope they fail and get arrested, and their plans to create this new world order do not succeed. So that pretty much covers that. So I don't want you to get too crazy about this. I put in here my final thoughts just to let you know that no matter what happens during this time period, whether the cabal win or not, even if 80% of the population gets wiped out, don't fear it. If you're a good person, remember you're just a mortal spirit trapped in a human body. You're not a human with an immortal spirit in you. Don't get it backwards. So don't think that this is it. Think that this is just a game that you're playing. That's all this is, a game. It's just a game. So I don't take it for anything more than that. Okay, let's get into the charts, because I've covered a lot of crazy stuff that could happen there. But looking at the charts, put quite simply, let's see if I can get my little program here to work for me. Pen signer here. And, oops, let's see here. Okay, as you can see, this chart here is the only one pointing up. It is down here in negative territory, below 10, above 20 in here. So if the daily chart was pointing up and giving it some power, you would expect this to come up here and work its way up here to get overbought before it rolled back over. However, the daily chart is pointing down big time. So is the weekly, so is the monthly. So the next nearest chart to this would be the 2-hour and the 4-hour, which I'll cover on another one because Ron Walker doesn't cover those, but I'll cover those for you. So my thoughts are that we don't get up that high, that we literally could just roll right over when the market opens on Monday. We could just open flat. Maybe we put 1 or 2 bars in and just come right back down. I don't think we're going to get very much. I think we're going to come back down if that happens, and then possibly we could put in a positive divergence. Maybe not. Maybe we just keep on going down here and putting in an even lower trough low. You keep doing that, I mean, obviously then there'd be no positive divergence, no sign for it to come back up. So if that happens, of course, you'd have something massive like this or something that would, if it filled all that in, you get the idea. And so you would just open and just fall like a rock. This is a bear flag, folks. Here's the flagpole, and here's the flag. A bear flag, a bull flag. Here's a bull flag, and that would be a bull flag. Where here's the pole, and here's the flag. And and if this is the one of the United States, here's your stars and your stars and stars and stars and stars and the United States Corporation. By the way, we're not a country, folks. We are. We are, whoa, I didn't do it right. I've forgotten. We are a corporation owned by Queen Elizabeth, so don't ever think we're a country. We never have been. We're just a corporation. But that's another story. Okay. That's what, of course, a bear flag would be just the opposite. Yep, ran out of ink again. This daggone stupid thing. All right, well, that's fine. The other scenario here that's possible is we work our way up here and we actually come up here and we back test this line. If you do this line on down right here, we might not even make it that high. Might even go here. That'd be wonderful for the bulls who'd like to get out, or the bears that want to get in, because that would make a nice, pretty MA pattern. Because looky here, we got an M and we got a possible A. You know, you could draw a line through there if you want to see the A. Remember, that's just the opposite of a bullish pattern, which I thought was going to play out, which was a WV, which was here, W. And I thought it was a V. I thought it would bust out. It did not. I got that one wrong. It's just too much pressure on the downward side. So, with that being said, with this being a very pretty bear flag, in my mind, I think it's just going to just roll over on Monday. If it don't gap down, it maybe open flat and just tries for a little bit and maybe just falls right back down. We can look at the 30-minute chart right here. You can see it again. Look at the 30-minute chart, folks. We're already overbought. You've already pushed up, extended quite a bit, and overbought. At least here on the histogram bars. Now, yeah, it could go up here further and keep on pushing. It could, okay? It could do that before it finally rolls over, and that would obviously, you know, put us up here a little bit more. Then slowly it would wean down, and before it would finally go down. If that's the case, then yeah, we could work our way up here. Maybe we hit that right there, and then we roll over. That is possible. Again, you can still see the big MA pattern right there that could be forming. That is a possibility. But do understand the higher 15-minute chart. We'll go over that one too as well. You can see the same thing here. 15-minute chart, big bear flag right here, and you know, really just should go down. It's already looking like it wants to go down. That doesn't mean it can't go down and recycle back up, but and then maybe, you know, work its way back up here. That's a possibility, but do understand that this generally happens when you've got support from higher, more powerful charts. Okay, do you have any support from the daily here? I mean, seriously, I mean, look at where we're at on the daily. Okay, looking up here, what do you see on the RSI? It's below 50. Come down here, hook sideways a little bit, but still well below 50. And that means relative strength is for the bulls. I can't see the actual number there, but, you know, it looks like it's about 40. So it's in bull territory. When it hits 33, it's twice as many bulls basically buying, or selling pressure versus buying pressure. Or same thing reverse for 66. You know, it'd be a 2-to-1 ratio is what the RSI is, relative strength for buying versus selling. And the more important thing is, look here. You can clearly see that this here is rolled over. Could it roll back up here and come back like this and maybe hook back up and finally do one of them numbers and stretch it out before it gets over to here? Yes. Now, how would you expect it to do that? The only way I could see it to do that is if the weekly chart is pushing up and adding support, because remember, the higher time frame charts are the ones that's going to be adding, subtracting, or not doing any support, or lack of support, I guess would be the word for it. So if the weekly chart was trending either way with no direction, then you would say that this could go either way. If the weekly chart is pushing downward pressure on it, then you don't think it's going to go, you think it's more likely to go down. If the weekly chart is pushing upward pressure on the market, then you would think it would curl back up, just like I got here in this picture. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But look at where we're at here. So do we curl back up here very quickly and come back, or do we keep on going down here and hover around this 20 level for a while before we finally try to come back up, maybe for a whole week? If it's that, would imply we'd come down here, maybe put in some type of positive divergence like this to set up a rally after this sell-off. That means we'd have another 1, 2, 3 bars down or something like that before we try to come back up. Maybe put in a positive divergence. If that's the case, then we would open and go down to my target area of 965 is what I'm thinking for the low, all the way up to maybe 980. That's not a very good 8, is it? Sorry, folks. 985 SPX. So I think we could really have another August 8th day. Here's your August 8th day right here. Boom, boom. That was 800 points down. I think we could have another one this week. I really do. So let's look at the weekly chart and see how that supports it. Okay, weekly chart. Look at where it's at here. It is at 37.9 on the on the 37.94 on the RSI, and sloping down. It's already came up and basically hit pretty close to a back test, and it's pointing down. Okay, now it is definitely losing strength here, up here, and getting ready to cross the 0 level, but that's not good. And our relative strength here is towards the bears. And you also see that it's forming a bear flag. And one of the more important things is it did break down and go through that 200-day moving average, which was setting at 1146.28, and it did close below that. That is very important. So, you know, next week it very well could just fall straight down off a cliff, and you know, you see just a horrible week. I mean, literally, you'd see a week like that. It very well could, and that would be your support right there. I mean, well, look, we've seen it right here, so that's very, very possible. And you can see here that we easily could have a week like this to where it dipped down, maybe like that, and then the week after maybe like this, like this, like this, to where you'd give it some kind of positive divergence so that it could go up after it finds some type of bottom like this, and it could come back up and try to retrace this for the next 3 weeks going into the October 23rd Legatus pilgrimage, so that Monday on the 24th it tops out and starts the 4th week down. Maybe it touches this 200 period moving average again, and then just starts collapsing down again. That is very, very, very possible. Obviously here on a down here, you can see it's kind of off the screen. I have to clear this out to get it to pull down. Sorry, that's no biggie. You can clearly see down here on this that it's hooked down. I mean, so it's not really hooked back up yet. I think it's going to hook back up. I do. And I think, again, we might have one more big down week, and then we'll try to hook back up to at least go to 0 before we roll over. But here, it could easily just hook down and try to come back up again. Just one really, really bad week this coming week. That's what I think is going to happen. And but this thing, before it's over with, is going to be down here, negative 125. And just I don't even think it's going to curl up like that. I think it's just going to just have a little hook in it and then just keep on going down. It obviously does not have any help from its higher time frame, which of course is the monthly. The monthly is just now starting to go down. So you see it, and what do you see? The RSI is now below 50. Bad news. And it's 44.79, heading down on the monthly. And obviously we're getting a bearish cross right there on the MACDs, and it's getting ready to roll over. So the monthly now is ready to go over. It's done, hit pretty much. Well, it hasn't hit a second support there yet at 1106, but it's close. I think it'll pierce right on through it before this month is over with, because this month is not over with yet. And because we done hit it one time, and we tagged it and come back. I think this time we're going to pierce through it before this month is over with. That's next week, folks. And of course that would go down, obviously, a little bit further. As you can see here, this here should go down again further as well. I don't know how far, but there's no sign of it turning back up as well here on the monthly chart. So everything here tells you that we should be going down. The VIX here, it could indicate very easily on the VIX on the short term 60-minute chart. So at least for Monday, it could come back down here and fill that gap and then come back. That, you know, might let it do one of these numbers, or it could just put in one of these, which would be, you know, a gap up on it if the market really fell off a cliff on Monday, and then maybe it pulls down, because, you know, this is a big bull flag on the VIX. So when you look at it here on the daily, you can clearly see how it's a big bull flag. Oops. There you go up, and you make your flag pattern. Boom, boom. There's your flag. You see what I'm saying? And there was your base right back there. So all this consolidation is a big bull flag, which eventually will go to there. And of course, I have a 340. What is it? A 346 VIX fake print. 346. What do you think is going to get this up to 346 when it's at 48 here? Or wait, it ain't made it up to 48. 48 was the high over here. Okay. What do you think is going to get it up to that? World War III, San Francisco sinking, you know, something like that. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. But so far the gangsters still have proven to me that they control this market. Now, I did want to do one final thing here to do that wave count that I was talking to you about with what I had seen on the charts, possibly with Reinhardt, and that was that if we counted this as the top, see, I think a lot of folks were counting this here as a wave 1, then this one up as a wave 2, this one down as a wave 3, and then this one, this sideways bear flag, as a wave 4, and now we're going down for wave 5. Okay, well, that's all fine and dandy, but what if that is wrong, because we kind of excluded this up here, the real top? What if this first wave was your wave 1 down right here, ending here? Here's your wave 2 up, okay, and then it tops here. Now you've started your 5 sublegs in this, but this whole move here is just a wave 1, okay, and it should end there. Then you have your wave 2 back up, but I do not think it's going to go past 1200 to 1220, this topping area here. I don't think it's going to go past that. But you have that count, and then if it does that in 3 weeks, I don't know if it's going to or not, if it does that in 3 weeks and we hit that October 23rd date for the, you know, all I know is this is a turn date, folks. When they come out of this legatus meeting, if the market, it usually turns. Possibly they put in QE 4 if we've already had 3. I guess with that job stimulus package, you know, we had it. But I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that somehow the eliticians will come back and revise this count, and somehow or other, the 3 weeks it's going to take for us to get in to this October the 23rd period, opening up on the 24th on Monday, I think that is going to start down the other big wave 3. The wave 3 inside of this larger wave 3, the whole thing being, I don't even know how to count it correctly, but I think it's just going to be a series of 3s. And there I go, running out of ink again. I hate that when that happens. This thing is very annoying. Don't know why it does that. So that we'll go ahead and just cancel out that. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I don't know how this wave count is, and for sure how it all goes about. You know, possibly another scenario would be wave 1 down, wave 2 down, wave 3 down, and maybe some type of trunicated wave 4 here, or wave 5, a trunicated one ending right there. If that's the case, then this whole move was your first wave down, and we've already had our wave 2 up, our big wave 2, and we've started the first leg down inside of a 5-wave move inside of a wave 3, which, you know, would obviously be a big 3-wave. Just guessing at that. I only try to put these pieces together the best I can. All I can tell you is, as far as starting off Monday, it doesn't look good. I don't see how this thing is going to rally up here. It just doesn't look logical to me to rally up. Yeah, it could, like I said, but to me it looks more like a bear flag. Boom, you know, that's just going to play out to the downside. So, you know, I'm short and I'm just going to ride it out. If it runs up there, so be it. But I think if it does, it's going to run up to there. I think that covers everything, folks. Sorry these videos are so long, but, you know, obviously there's a lot to go over, and I cannot think of anything else. So I guess I will call that the end and sit there and tell you to be sure and look out for that date there. Something's going on. Maybe we'll all be ascend and leave our bodies, and maybe that's the rapture date. I don't know. I think that's all staged anyway. But good luck, and I'll see everybody on the blog at reddragonleo.com, and in the chat room, of course, too. So, and that is at stockmarketbloggers.com/chat, but you can always go to it here, and that should take you there. Okay, gang, that is it. Good luck, and stay safe.